Jey Uso attacked on WWE SmackDown. Was it intentional or accidental? WWE botches the new Women's Championship on SmackDown. Updated list of Money in the Bank contenders following SmackDown. What Omos must do to change his fate in WWE. Seth Rollins and Roman Reigns unification match for the world titles. Roman Reigns receives an ultimatum on SmackDown. Let's jump right into it. WWE botches the new Women's Championship on SmackDown. 2023 has been full of changes and introductions in WWE, from crowning Seth Rollins as the World Heavyweight Champion to presenting Roman Reigns with the undisputed Universal Championship. The company has brought in a lot of changes. On the latest episode of Friday Night SmackDown, another change was made when Asuka was presented with a brand new title. It was also said that this new title will be called the WWE Women's Championship. While the title looked good, a key detail many fans could have missed was the fact that the title contained the words Women's Undisputed Championship. The question that comes forward now is, did WWE botch this new title? The short answer to that would be no. Since Endeavor merged UFC and WWE, the latter is changing title designs and doing away with brand-specific titles. This also means that next week on Monday Night Raw, we might see a new title that won't be brand-specific. For all you know, the company might give Ripley a new belt inspired by their iconic Divas Championship. Times are indeed happy and fruitful for Asuka, who is enjoying a major run in her career after defeating Bianca Belair to win the Raw Women's Championship. This week on Friday Night SmackDown, the Japanese wrestler was presented with her new belt. Asuka's new title called for celebrations, but they were short-lived as Charlotte Flair interrupted and made her presence felt for the first time since WrestleMania 39. Upon entering the ring, Flair made her intentions to fight for the brand new title clear. While on-screen authority Adam Pearce told Flair she would have to wait in line, Asuka accepted Flair's challenge. Considering the two women have shared a storied history, fans should expect a great contest. While Night of Champions brought Asuka the happiness she sought, it left Bianca Belair distraught. At the show, Belair lost her title to Asuka, which ended her record-setting run of 420 days with the title. The EST is yet to face Asuka for a rematch. This week on SmackDown, before Asuka was presented with the title, Belair was seen talking to Adam Pearce. She was promised a rematch by Pearce if she promised not to interfere in the celebrations. However, the return of Flair has seemingly poured cold water on her aspirations. It will be interesting to see how this segment goes forward from here. Will we see Bianca Belair and Charlotte Flair indulge in a one-on-one match, or will Asuka defend her title in a triple threat match? While nothing is clear yet, the future looks exciting. Updated list of Money in the Bank contenders following SmackDown. As the annual Money in the Bank Premium Live event draws closer, WWE continues to expand the field of competitors for the MITB ladder matches. On the latest edition of SmackDown, several qualifying matchups took place. Santos Escobar and Mustafa Ali collided in a high-octane bout to earn the opportunity of a lifetime. Butch faced a struggling Baron Corbin in another qualifier later in the evening. Escobar prevailed over Ali to enter his first ever MITB ladder match. Corbin's woes worsened as he lost to Butch, who is now a step closer to the top prize in sports entertainment. They join a stacked field comprising of LA Knight, Shinsuke Nakamura, and Ricochet. The WWE Universe can expect the remaining men's Money in the Bank ladder match slots to fill up in the coming weeks. The mist around the women's MITB ladder matches also cleared last night on SmackDown. Former Ms. Money in the Bank, Bayley, defeated Michin to secure a spot. Fellow Damage Control member Io Sky bested Shotzi to qualify too. The two stablemates join an impressive field of Zelina Vega, Becky Lynch, and Zoe Stark. With the wealth of talent already confirmed for the match, fans can expect a memorable encounter. MITB ladder matches are often predictable because clear favorites usually head into the game. WWE drops clear indications based on recent booking. Furthermore, media outlets frequently spoil the eventual outcome. However, that isn't the case this year. For months, the WWE Universe believed LA Knight would become Mr. Money in the Bank 2023. He has gained momentum recently, and the fans are rallying behind him. However, Ringside reported that Knight was far from a confirmed winner. Drew McIntyre, out of action since WrestleMania 39, is also a name that has sprung up amid murmurs of a massive heel turn. Dominic Mysterio has won many higher-ups backstage and could be being groomed for a huge push. Let's not exclude Shinsuke Nakamura from the running. The King of Strong Style has been booked firmly since his return and could be a future World Heavyweight Champion by the end of the year. The unpredictability of the men's MITB ladder match adds intrigue and excitability. It's anyone's match to win. We may also have a last-minute entry, much like Austin Theory was abruptly included last year. Either way, fans should brace themselves for a thrilling early summer season, for a few surprises may be in the works. What Omos must do to change his fate in WWE. A WBV Hall of Famer, Teddy Long, highlighted what Omos must do to change his fate in the promotion. Ever since his debut, the Nigerian superstar has proven himself to be an eye-catcher mainly due to his large size and stature. He even started his career on a positive note alongside AJ Styles and became a tag team champion. 7-foot 3-inch tall Gane has been a force to be reckoned with during his WWE run, but he has failed to defeat big opponents like Braun Strowman and Brock Lesnar. Another problem that has hurt him is his inability to be intimidating despite his large size. During a recent episode of Sportskeeda's The Wrestling Time Machine, Teddy Long discussed about what the Nigerian giant needs to do to change his fate in WWE with Bill Apter and Mac Davis. I have to kind of disagree with you with the eyes, you know what I mean. I think that is your observation with the eyes, you know about the eyes. Ain't nobody watching that. You know they're looking at him, and I think with Omos with the size, you know what I mean, that explains it right there. So I don't think it's so much him giving you that eye stare down, I think him just looking rugged and maybe not smiling, you know, never see a smile there. Just keep that same stone cold face, you know, and that explains exactly just how tough you are. Despite being a big guy, Omos' inability to get heat on himself is quite apparent, which is what has made him an afterthought. Therefore, Bill Apter has a suggestion to get the Nigerian giant over. During the same episode, Sportskeeda's senior editor Bill Apter suggested that the 29-year-old should turn babyface as might sell a lot of merchandise. I see Omos as the jolly giant. Make him a babyface. I could see kids following him. I could see merchandising. He's not. They're trying to make a heel out of a guy who, like Teddy said, is a real sweetheart. I talked to him at Raw 30 and I couldn't believe what a just nice guy he was. He was sitting down and catering, then he got up and I was like, imitates looking up at Omos. The former Raw Tag Team Champion has been off WWE television for a while to get married. It will be interesting to see if WWE will repackage him when he returns to the ring. You want to see Omos as a babyface? Sound off in the comments section. Seth Rollins and Roman Reigns unification match for the world title. Hall of Famer and wrestling veteran Bill Apter thinks there should be a winner-takes-all match between Roman Reigns and Seth Rollins sometime in the future with both of their titles on the line. The Tribal Chief is the current undisputed WWE Universal Champion, while his longtime rival Seth Rollins is the inaugural World Heavyweight Champion. The former is the main champion of SmackDown, while the latter is the top title holder of Monday Night Raw. The head of the table has been champion for over 1,000 days, a milestone that hasn't been accomplished in nearly 4 decades. Bill Apter was recently in a discussion with Teddy Long and Mac Davis on the latest episode of Sportskeeda's The Wrestling Time Machine. Apter stated that although Seth Rollins has a world title, many fans still view Roman Reigns as the world champion. I've met Seth many times, even when he was in the indies. Great guy, very well spoken, great personality, but very dedicated. You know, he still has a wrestling school and he still goes back there once in a while and works with the guys. But my feeling on the World Heavyweight Championship is that I think the fans are still looking at Roman Reigns even though he's not the World Heavyweight Champion. But I think they still look at him with a Universal title as the world champion, said Apter. Bill Apter suggested that somewhere down the line, the two stars should collide in a unification match to crown a single world champion in WWE. They were trying to make the World Championship the primary belt, but I think, and Seth Rollins deserves this, but I think somewhere there's got to be a showdown between the two former Shield members there to decide who is really the one champion. Maybe bring them together, he added. On the latest episode of Raw, the Visionary had his first title defense against the Judgment Day's Damian Priest in the main event of the show. This was an open challenge, which was answered by the Punishment on social media. The Architect won the bout by pinfall after hitting Priest with a stomp. WWE also teased a match between Finn Balor and Seth Rollins as the two stars stood eye to eye in the ring during the show. Rollins was challenged to a match for the title by Braun Breaker last Tuesday, who invited him to show up on NXT next week. Would you like to see a unification match between Seth and Roman one day? Sound off in the comments below. Roman Reigns receives an ultimatum on SmackDown. The story of Roman Reigns and the Bloodline is literally on the minds of every wrestling fan. While SmackDown has many more talents who give great performances, Reigns and the Bloodline have managed to grab the attention of the WWE Universe. This week on Friday Night SmackDown, Jey Uso had to make an important choice of choosing between his brother Jimmy Uso or staying with the Bloodline. While Jey has still not made his choice clear, a backstage segment during the show seemed to be an ultimatum for Roman Reigns. When Paul Heyman was trying to convince Jey Uso to stay with the Bloodline, the latter said that if he stays with the faction, then Heyman would be out. Upon hearing this, it seems that somewhere in his mind, Jey feels that the divide between the Usos and Reigns has to do with the wise man. While Jey Uso has made his message very clear, it will be interesting to see how this story develops. With Reigns scheduled to appear on SmackDown next week, one can only imagine how exciting the event will be. While Reigns and Heyman share a good bond, it is intriguing to think of what Reigns made of Jey Uso's ultimatum on SmackDown. Somewhere in his mind, Reigns will be thinking about the words spoken by the right-hand man. While it seems unlikely that Reigns will depart with Heyman, it will be interesting if he does. Because assuming Heyman gets booted from the Bloodline, the veteran manager has an interesting wrestler he could manage. That wrestler is none other than the United States champion Austin Theory. On SmackDown this week, before he could defend his title against Jey Uso, Theory spoke about Heyman recruiting him. He said, "If Paul Heyman is looking for a new client after next week, I invite him to check out Austin Theory live. If Theory and Heyman somehow team up, it will do wonders for the career of the former." Considering Theory has the backing of the WWE, Heyman's mentorship will help the 25-year-old challenge for a major title sooner rather than later. Early in his career, one could argue that Roman Reigns was having a tough time adjusting in WWE. While he did get a push, something seemed off. However, that changed when Reigns paired up with Paul Heyman. Since joining forces with the latter, the Tribal Chief's stocks have only moved upward. The head of the table has become one of the biggest stars in WWE, and his championship reign has spanned over 1,000 days currently. Speaking about the undisputed WWE Universal Champion, Heyman once declared Reigns as the best wrestler in the world. Heyman said, "Here's a conversation that Roman Reigns and I like to have quite often. And the conversation is something along the lines of, I inform him of my honest opinion, which is I think in my heart of hearts, Roman Reigns is the GOAT. I think he's the greatest performer in WWE history." From Heyman's statements, it is easy to guess that he and Reigns share a great bond. However, considering Jey Uso's ultimatum and the Bloodline story, it will be exciting to monitor the future of the faction. Jey Uso attacked on WWE SmackDown. Was it intentional or accidental? During the main event of WWE SmackDown, Jey Uso failed to capitalize on his first singles championship opportunity in almost 3 years. He competed with Austin Theory for the United States title in a match that turned out to be quite chaotic. Pretty Deadly initiated shenanigans by assisting Theory until Jimmy Uso and Solo Sikoa had their own story pan out in the ring. During the climax, Jimmy flattened Elton Prince and Kit Wilson while the referee was down. Solo interfered and spiked the fellow Uso, prompting Jey Uso to confront him. This bought time for his twin to make a recovery. Jimmy launched his super kick at Sikoa, but the latter ducked and Jey bore the brunt of it. The right-hand man was inconsolable after Theory capitalized on the mistake to win. Jimmy is believed to have accidentally cost Jey Uso the title match on WWE SmackDown, but the reality could be different. Upon deeper scrutinization, the former tag team champion could be seen delaying the super kick until Solo Sikoa stepped out of the way. It's possible that his slight hesitation revealed that he intentionally hit Jey. The spot could have been a botch as well. Jimmy might have been slow to react to the moment, yet given the subtle hints dropped throughout the 3-year-long Bloodline storyline, WWE SmackDown has put another rivalry to the forefront. Earlier on WWE SmackDown, the right-hand man was approached by Paul Heyman with the idea that he could be the next Tribal Chief. Was Jimmy Uso's attack on Jey Uso a maneuver aimed at toning down the latter's ambitions? It is a possibility since Jimmy called himself the Tribal Chief a few weeks ago. Given the drama unfolded on the Blue brand, the next few episodes are likely going to focus on a reconciliation between Jimmy and Jey. The latter's decision on the matter will be influenced by those segments on television. It's no secret that the Usos are rumored to square up against Roman Reigns and Solo Sikoa in the near future. Solo Sikoa's interference was likely ordered by the Tribal Chief. This was confirmed when Paul Heyman called Roman Reigns at the end of the WWE SmackDown episode. Reigns wanted Jey to avoid relying on Jimmy's support, and the plan to separate the two has somehow worked.
I can feel the blood creeping up from the heathens. Got will, got fight, got pride, got reason. If they wanna go eat, then you know I'm gon' feed them. If you're coming for me, hope you're ready for a demon. I got eyes in the back of my head, I'm seeing. Take me for